The Meta Quest 3 is the latest iteration of all-in-one VR, aiming to close the graphical gap between it and its high-end corded cousins, while also pushing the augmented reality envelope further than we've seen as yet in a consumer-level headset.
We are incredibly proud to introduce Quest 3, the first mainstream mixed reality headset.
The Quest 3 doesn't vary drastically in its basic design from its predecessor, but it does come with a number of improvements. It's built around the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 processor, which promises twice the graphics performance as the Quest 2, along with 8 GB of RAM versus the Quest 2's 6 GB. It also upgrades to 6 camera sensors over the Quest 2's 4, 2 of which are RGB cameras that deliver full color pass-through. The display also gets a resolution bump up to 2064 by 2208 pixels per eye, which is not only an improvement from the 1832 by 1920 on the Quest 2, but also more than the PSVR 2's 2000 by 2040. At 515 grams, the headset is a tad heavier than the Quest 2's 503 grams, but not so much to feel cumbersome. There's a new Y-shaped design to the cloth strap, which still adjusts via 2 sliding clasps on the back of your head. It's a definite step down from more premium headsets like the Index and PSVR 2, but like with Quest 2, you can swap in a higher-end head strap if you want a more comfortable experience. Likewise, we didn't love the default face gasket, which, while soft, had a rubbery feeling to it. It wasn't terribly uncomfortable, but we found it rather warm on the face, and it got quite sweaty after only 15 or so minutes of relatively low energy play. The controllers have been changed a bit too. They've lost the bulky ring design in favor of a more streamlined grip, which gives them a bit better feel in the hand. We found them relatively unremarkable otherwise. They functioned as expected, but didn't stand out in any way. Visually, the graphics and resolution upgrade is immediately noticeable. Colors are crisp, text is readable, and we noticed little to no aliasing in the demos we tried. While it didn't look quite as good as the visual feast of Horizon Call of the Mountain on PSVR 2, the gap was small, and it's extremely impressive considering the all-in-one nature of the hardware. Also, it's a clear improvement over the Quest 2. While we didn't have an actual Quest 2 unit to compare with side by side, one of the demos we tested had a Quest 2 emulation feature, letting us toggle our view between the Quest 3's capabilities and what it, in theory, would have looked like on a Quest 2. Toggling between views, the Quest 2 was a clear step down. Textures were muddier, shadows disappeared, and text changed from legible to blurry. This was, of course, an emulated demo designed to show how stark the differences could be, so we can't really say if it is truly that dramatic a difference, but if the emulated example is anything close to reality, it's an impressive showing for a new device. Tapping twice on the side of the headband switches the headset into pass-through mode, giving you a detailed look at your surroundings. Gone is the grainy, monochrome pass-through view of the Quest 2 and most other VR headsets. The Quest 3 delivers a high-fidelity, full-color view of the world around you. The view looks excellent, and while it's not quite picture-perfect to reality, it's near enough that you could mostly forget you're wearing a headset. That said, there were a few spots around the edges, and particularly around our feet, where the view would warp a little bit and give away the illusion. All of the Quest's existing game library will be playable on the Quest 3, and likewise, there won't be any games that are exclusive to the new device, at least for the time being. That said, there will be plenty of games, more than 50 either available at launch or coming soon, that will be receiving upgrades and mixed reality features to take advantage of the new hardware. BAM had us set a tabletop-like arena literally on a tabletop in front of us, wherein little robots fought for possession time of a crown, boxing and shooting each other to knock the crown loose. The most ambitious game we played was a bit of Assassin's Creed Nexus, a new VR-only entry in the storied Ubisoft franchise. Nexus is a first-person game putting you behind the eyes of several beloved Assassin's Creed protagonists, including Cassandra from AC Odyssey, Connor from AC3, and Ezio from AC2. The game uses a mixture of movement options, including the parkour movement that AC is known for, as well as climbing that reminded us of Horizon Call of the Mountain. Some bits of the controls felt great, ducking behind cover and popping out to take down a guard with a throwing knife, for example, while others were a bit clunkier, like when you need to hold down the parkour movement button with your right thumb while also needing to use that thumb to adjust your movement direction, which caused us to miss our jump and fall into the canals of Rome. From what we played, the Quest 3 seems like an easy upgrade for anyone interested in mixed reality or those who have been curious about VR but skipped on the Quest 2. If you're coming from the Quest 2, however, it'll be a bit more of a decision to make. The upgrades are clear. On the graphics and performance front, it's an obvious improvement. But if you're just a casual VR user, you have to wonder if the improvements are worth springing for a completely new device, especially given the Quest 3's higher starting price of $499. We'll have a lot more to say about the Quest 3 and help answer that question in our full review of the headset in the coming weeks. The Quest 3 launches on October 10th, and pre-orders are available right now. Until then, be sure to check out our roundup of news from Meta Connect, and for everything else, keep it right here on IGN.